So only as the instructors are the ones that are able to view it this way. You guys are all viewing it as a student. And the only way for me to share this as a public link is to actually share this URL with you, which everybody should have. But if not, I'm going to go ahead and copy this and paste it into the chat so that you do have this link. Let's see here, and it won't let me do the submit part over here. Oh, there you go. I get too many things going on here. Okay, so it is, and Justin is recording this, so in case people needed that. So again, so that was the only way I can share the course is actually, you don't have it on your Canvas shell or on your dashboard, but you do have access to it. So with that said, it's a self, and it's going to continue to keep changing. So you do have like a table of contents, and I maintain this table of contents for you. So you'll see that everything is linked for you. If there's anything that was new, that would have a little new sticker on it. So we are creating things in here new. The APA videos, they were up, but there was an issue with them. So I created mine in PowerPoint, but I uploaded it in Kaltura. Nora created hers, I believe, just in Kaltura. Those, we obviously don't have Kaltura anymore, so that was causing an issue with people downloading that. So Nora and I are going to have to work on probably uploading those in maybe YouTube or something else so that everybody is able to get that content. So as of right now, I took that site down until we're able to fix it. But so you'll see anything that's under construction, we'll have a little construction sign. And then Nora just created this navigating the library citation, or not Laura, this is Allison created the navigating of the app thing, and I made that live for you. And then Nora just did one that she sent out, and it's in technology tutorials. That's a run to get tongue-tied. And that was up here, the micro lesson on the PowerPoint. So again, anything that would be new that we're putting up there, I'm going to leave up new for the semester, then I'll take that down, but continue to keep coming in here because we do have a lot of new stuff. And then I have something called the Canvas Enhancers. Now, these I pretty much have the HTML for. It's just I haven't been able to have the time to go in there and make it so that you can take that information and put it into your own courses. But I promise I'll be working on that very soon so that you can see that. So with that said, I'm going to kind of jump into how to use that. Is it okay with everybody? All right. I'm going to show you just a simple one first, and then I'm going to go into a more detailed one, and then I'll kind of show you a little bit about the Canvas enhancers and how you use that. But I just want to show you the basic one first. And if I'm going too basic and and you guys already know how to do this, just say I already know how, and we'll kind of move on from there. But this is just a basic Word document that was created that I had made for my SLS class. And so what you would do is you would download it, right? You download it. You're going to go ahead and open it and save it to your own computer. If it's going to allow me to do that. Okay. I'm going to save it to my own computer, which of course is going to say way over here. And then I'm going to go, I have to enable it. Then I would file and save it, right? Save it to my own computer. It's already saved on here. But then what I would do is make sure I put it where I can find it. Hang on a minute. Save as. Let me do this like I would do it, like you guys would do it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to find it. All right. So now it's saved onto my own computer. You guys do that too, right? You save it. You don't remember where you saved it to. So what you would do is then you would go to your Canvas shell. So I'm going to just open up another shell. And I'm going to Canvas. Let me just open up my funky shell, which I probably already have open. If you want to thing, let me just open up a funky shell here, something I can work with. OMG on the all the things. let's just say I want to put it back into my little resource thing that I had going on here. Of course, it's leaving me as a student, which means you can't see it. So if I opened up my own shell, can you guys see this now? My own little funky shell?
What we
Yes.
see says Lake Hawk links, general resources.
Oh, well, I need to stop this share and go back. Thanks, Justin. Let me share this funky shell now. Okay, now you can see my funky shell, right? So what I would do is I need to go, so say like you can either create a page in here or you can just put it. So if I want to if I know where I want to put it, then I can go to that particular source, right? And I can create a page and I can put it in here, or I can upload the page, I can create a page and put it in here right directly. So let's just say, I don't know what I'm gonna call it, just downloading. Okay, and so I've added my page now in my source where I want it. And now I can go and I can upload that particular page on there, right? So I can do that, and then I can say here, and if I wanted to put that content in there, I can put it into my page, right? I can put that link in there, or I can just link it to, I can link it as a page. So you can do multiple things, but once you get that particular download that you have on yours, you can upload it wherever you like in your own module. So if I just want to stick it anywhere, if I want to put it in the module itself, let's just say I want to put it in this particular module, what I just want to add it, I can go in and just add the page itself. So I can upload it and add it. That would be the easiest way if there's just one. It does get a little complicated though when we go to multiple. So let me stop this share and open back up my, this is a little bit more complicated jumping from one screen to the other. So let me get back into my dashboard. G and go into that takeaway box. Okay, so back to the toolkit. And let me share this again. You get your hand up, Justin?
I think I lost you when there was downloading. And so I apologize that I'm confused. But when you were on a page and then you downloaded, I'm not sure what content you downloaded. But maybe you're going to answer that now.
Yeah, it's a little difficult here when jumping from one screen to the other. What I was doing is I just downloaded a document on here. So I just downloaded a document from here. I went into here and I went into the APA and I downloaded the handout, and then I'm just going to take the handout, copy the handout to my own folder, and then upload it into my course. That's the easy one. There are more complicated ones, which I'm going to show you now. So when it comes to like this one here, the importance of in-text citations, you can see where this has the HTML part of it, right? This has, and if you don't know about HTML, you can go, I'm going to look to this screen because I have multiple screens and this is the easiest one to do it. So I do have up here how to use the rich text if you don't know how to do that. This is the downloading code. These are the images. So if you're going to upload this particular content into your course, then you also need to download the images. There's two up here. There's one down here. And then this right here is actually an H5P. So the librarians have access to the H5P. It's like we purchased it. We only have so many I think Ellison, I don't know how many we purchased, maybe 5 or 6, but we only have a few that we actually, so librarians can create these. But anyway, this is just an H5P, and if they were to go in here and click on it, things like that, they would be able to get the answers. So that is not really an image. You don't have to download that. And I put that up there that it's not a downloadable thing. It's just something that has an HTML, and it would go from my page to your page without having to do anything special. So when you're using the basically the workaround, that basically anything that's above my little decorative line that I've made here, all of this are the instructions on how to use it. Anything below the decorative line would be something that you would be able, that's the HTML code that I have for you. So for this particular one, because you have the code as well as the images, you're going to need to download the images. So I would download the image. And again, whenever you save it, make sure you save it someplace that you know where it is. So save as, and you can just, I think I just labeled it as label 1 or something like that in here. We'll put it on the desktop and we'll just put image 1 so I know where I'm going. Image 1. And then I needed to do image 2 because there are 2. The first, this one here is actually one image, but this is another image. So I would need to save the images because I'm going to have to upload those images as well as use the HTML code. I'm going to give this label 2. All right, so now that I have my 2 images, I go up here to the HTML code and I have to download that code. Basically, the HTML code is all the code that's below the thing. So you're not going to copy it. Do you want to do this? I do put that. You're going to copy from wherever it has the code itself. And usually it's going to start with a P or start with a div, or it might start with an H, like an H2, H something like that. But you're going to copy all the codes. So you're going to go and copy all of the code. All right. Once you have your code copied, then you're going to go into your own page. I'm just going to put it into shell so I'm not jumping back and forth. So if I wanted to put this particular this information into one of my own courses, right? I'm just going to stick it as a page. So let's just say I wanted to create a page, and let's just go like from the basics. Let's just create a page, because let's just say I don't really know where I want to put it yet, but I know I want to create a page. So if you go to view all pages and create a page, right? So this is the rich editor. This would be like if I want to just start typing something in here, right? Like, your document, right? This is the rich text. This is not where you want to be when you're doing the HTML part of it. So don't put it in there. What you're going to do is you're going to go down to where it has these 2 little brackets, like the bracket, and there's a slash line in between. Click into there and now paste that code that I gave you, paste it into here. Once I go back and I switch it from the back to this rich text, all of my information that I gave you is in here. Okay, it's all in here. Now, what is not going to be, now you can view this now, you can see my images, but when you go to save it and put it in your own, if you don't upload the images on here, those images are going to show us a little link and it'll be a blank image. So what you need to do is obviously you need to label it. I'm just going to put this as test 1. Okay, so what you do is you click on the image and then you go to your files, save it into your files. If you have not saved it to your files, then when you click on the image, you would go to insert, and then you're going to upload the image, right? So you can do it one of 2 days. Either you've already uploaded into your files and you would just find it and they would go that way. If you don't already have an upload, but you've saved it to something, then you just go to upload image, and then you need to locate that image of wherever you saved it. And I saved mine on the desktop, and this is image 1. So I click on there, and then you have to use this little icon here where it has the alt tag. If you don't put this in your so let's just say I saved this and I submitted it, and you'll see that it'll pop up here. So either way, if I don't do it on the back end, it's going to tell me on the front end that I need to do that. That little accessibility guy is letting me know. So I'm just going to put this as image 1 for now. And then I'm going to hit save. Okay, because my images are already in here, it's kind of doing it twice. So I want to make sure that I don't do that. But then I go into here and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to save the image again, find the image, upload it, unless you already have it in here. Now for me, I already had this in here. So I'm going to go ahead and say insert, and then I would find it in my course images, and then I would locate that particular image in there, right? I would put it in there. So I get 50,000 images in here. Okay. Okay, now. So again, I would go in here and I would have to save it and tell it exactly what it is, and then hit apply, and that would do that. So those images would then apply on there, right? And then my HTML thing. So then when I save this, if I save it, well, actually save it and publish it. You have to publish it to be able to see it as a student. So once I have this in here, right, if I go to view it as a student, now the student can actually see the images. If I had not saved my images, and of course this is the wrong image, but it's okay. If I had not saved my images though, as viewed as a student, they would not be able to see it. Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody kind of see? So yeah, I try to that was a huge workaround because you guys are actually seeing it as a student view versus versus the ones that are actually embedded in it, which are only the librarians. And so we had to come up with a workaround, and this is the best way that we were able to do that. Now there are some easier ones in here, obviously. There's ones about the scribes and stuff, and those actually on the tutorials of the scribes, I'd actually get out of the student view. This one again has some images, so again, you would download the images. So just be mindful if it does have the images. I've tried to label them all for you. I've tried to tell you exactly what you need to do, but you do need to either save them to your own files or save them to your computer, and then you would just download the HTML code, put it using and if you don't know how to do that, again, it tells you here, this link will teach you how to use it from the HTML end of it, not the rich text. And then you just upload it and save it, and then you would connect that page. If you connected it already to a module, then obviously you don't need to to link the page. But if I didn't link that page to something, then I would go in, and hopefully you guys all know how to do that. You could just, everybody know how to use that function with the Canvas copy to function. It would not help, Darren, only because it would help me. You're talking about going here? Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, I was just wondering, I know I've used the copy to, and I think it copies images, so I just didn't know if that would be a way to help, or if there's a different issue that you had to get around.
Well, so this is that issue. So me being in here, I'm not viewing it as a student. You viewing it as a student no longer have that capability.
Oh, I got you. I see. I see.
That's why I created the workaround, because as a student, which is what you guys are viewing it at, you don't have that capability. As me, as the person that is the owner of it, then yes, I can move it from one page to the other.
Thanks for that. Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, nope, that's exactly right. That's why I had to come up with a workaround.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, so the workaround is going to be always above the line, above the blue line, everything below it would be the HTML code that you can take. So let me just show you a little bit about the Canvas enhancers, because it kind of started where I was like, again, making things in my own Canvas shell. And then some of the librarians got really creative on it, and they started putting some other things in it. And then some of them started using ChatGPT and trying to make some templates and things. And so again, these are things that I'm working on, and I can show you if you like, but they're not quite ready to be able to use yet. But they are some ways you can put color on a page. You can put like timeline, different things, table of contents, which is what I created, to use that table of contents. So all of that. But let me just go like on your view so you can see what you can view. So if I go to the Canvas enhancers, so Canvas actually, because I see a lot of you guys, because I'm embedded in so many classes, that I see that you make these buttons, right? But then somebody's created the button and they've made it in another course, and somebody has downloaded the course, but they didn't like the image. Like, so say like, if you didn't take that particular image and upload it into your course or link it, maybe it's already in the files, but you haven't linked that particular image, then the students aren't able to see those images. And I see that over and over, especially on the home pages where people have made these buttons, but they are not connected. And so again, they might be in the file there, but you have to make sure that you're connected. Because again, your view versus my view is the instructor's view is going to be completely different. But here, Canvas does make buttons for you. You do have to put them in HTML. And so they make a blue, an orange, a red, the green, right? They get the basics colors. So this is how you would create the button if you want an HTML button. And then if you kind of go down here, I literally tell you how, so you're kind of building it as you go. And then if you wanted to, expand it, there's pop-up buttons too. So if I wanted to say, oh, I want to create like a pop-up, so I would click on this, that would tell me, it would be a little pop-up button. You can create those too. The one that you can't do is I tried to make this expanded and it doesn't expand beyond the HTML. I really worked on it and it won't go beyond that. So you can expand it through here. So if you put more information, the student could expand that button, but there is no way to expand the Canvas's HTML button, if that makes any sense. So again, that's an expandable button. And then here's one that I've actually had added a width to it if you wanted it a little longer, and it would go to, if you wanted to do that again, to make it an expandable button. So if you wanted to use this, right, if I wanted to upload this, there is a little catch. So what you would do is that some people link this. So if I wanted to create a button, right, and I wanted to add the button to a page. So say I created the button, right? I picked out the color I want, the size I want, the X, Y, and Z, right? Of all of these up here. And now I want to add this particular button to my shell and I want to link it to something, right? So I did put a little hint in here where you have to connect the URL first, and then you go back and you're going to add after the A, the class, and you're going to add the class. If you do it first, and then you go and connect the HTML to it to connect to the page, it takes the button off and it just makes it as a regular link, like you would have like a link like this. And if I want the button on there, you have to kind of manipulate it up a little bit and do it. So if you want me to show you how to do that, I can. If not, or you can just reach out to me, or I can show you now if you like. But you do have to do a little bit more to be able to get that particular button on there to make it work. So we do have that, and then we've expanded a little bit. We've made it to where if you want to pick some of the branding colors from the college, you can do that. Now, if you were to change the color of any of the templates or anything within here, you do need to make sure that it's in accessibility. So there's an accessibility tool that we've provided in here, and so you need to make sure. So if this was black, let's just put, if this was white, right? And I put this particular color and I'm putting it on a white background, this particular color is not dark enough for the accessibility, so I would need to make it darker, right? I can drag it color wise or whatever. And then it tells me that these colors pass, right? If it was a black writing, then it fails because it's too dark. And now I can say, okay, well, now I can make it a little lighter, and then it would work. So you do need to do this. You need to make sure that you're using the accessibility tool. If you change the colors in the HTML, can everybody see that? That is visible, right? Okay. So again, going back to another shell. So again, if I'm using this, changing my colors of my buttons, the original buttons. Now the HTML buttons, the colors will work because that's their HTML, that's Canvas's. But if I want to change the buttons to a different color, then I'm going to need to use that, and you can change the color. And I've given you again the code in which you would do that. You're going to add your thing here, and just the same as this button, you would have to you go back and add the class in there and the button. Otherwise, it just makes it a link and your button disappears. So it's the same idea as the other one. And then we do have here adding color to a adding color to a Canvas page. This is not published, or maybe it is. Make that alive. This is actually if you want to add color to a page, and so you can add a border here. This is the color. You would upload your image, and so if you were going to do this, I didn't add the HTML is actually here and not at the very top. So it says directions here, creating it. So if you were to add something like this, then you would go ahead and download this HTML. And then wherever it tells you here that the color. So the first color here, this is going to be the color of the entire screen, like the color of my screen down here. This, and then this is going to be the background color of the border, right? And again, if you change the color of my border, I just picked any color in here, but if you need to use the accessibility checker to make sure whatever color you choose it, if you're going to put as a white background, it has to be darker, and if you're going to put it as a lighter background for the background of your entire page, then you can make it a little lighter, right? And if you're going to upload an image, you guys know how to do an image. Make sure you download it in your files and then upload it. And then you can put images in there. And that would be a way that you can add some color on a page if you like to do something like that, right? And then let's see, some of the other ones I don't have again. Well, here's about the Canvas book. So these are some templates that we have created. Again, if you're going to change the color, you make sure you use that. I have added the HTML up in here. So if you do go to the HTML, I've added that you need to go out the accessibility part of it, adding the color, right? Again, those are key. And how to do the how to switch it from the rich text to the HTML. You would copy this code. Basically, you're going to copy the template, and then you would know it. You can go and put your own information in the boxes if you like to do that. Okay, you would just put it in through the you have to put it in through the HTML part of it. So you just take out our stuff and put your own stuff in. These are a little bit more on the advanced of the HTML part, but it does give you a template for those of you thing. And this is just another one, and I think we have one on how to use it with just a micro lesson too. So again, little templates that we have made for you, but you would just replace the information and put your own stuff in there. So we kind of did the hard work for you. We created the HTML. Now if you're wanting to do something like that, then you would have to go in and use you could basically use the template and then add your own content. So any questions on how to use this? You got a question, Justin?
I do. Would you mind walking us through on one of your test pages and showing us how to create a button?
I can definitely do that. All right, so let me go back to the modules. Let me do it like you guys would do it. Well, let me just start from the top because actually they're all linked. So again, that in the table of contents, which again, I'm working on that so that you guys can create your own. But for right now, let's just do a button. So again, you'd read through all the directions, right? Because everything tells you how to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and just cheat and just go right to the button itself. So again, let's just say I want to create a blue button, right? And I want to make it so it tells you here that I want to make a blue button, and I created my sizes here. So let's just say these are small. Let's just say I want to make a medium button and I want to make it blue. Okay, let's just make it very simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this class, right? Copy all of this class. What you're going to be doing though is where I have my instructional course here, you're going to be putting your own information in. So so if it be like this and it says this is where you're going to name your course, right? And then you're going to put your own information in here and then you're going to name it. But I'm just going to use what I have already made. So again, if you're going to do it, then this would be the directions on how to do it. But I'm going to just show you very quickly of how to. So let me just create a page. Let me just make a new page. Put this as the HTML in here for now. And I'm just going to put this test 2. And we're going to see here that now it doesn't show that there's a button there. It won't show until I save it. And it's not going to show. So there's my button, right? Now, but if I go to the student view, well, it still shows up here, but I don't, because that's not linked to anything, right? Now I have to be able to link it. It's just a plain old button here that I just need. So I want to be able to link this to something. So I'm going to take this out, this removing the link. And now I'm going to go and insert it. So I'm going to find, let's just say I want to link this button to a page, or I want to link this something to a page, right? So I would go and I would go, maybe I'm just going to say external link. And let's just say I'm going to link this to, I don't know, where do I want to link it to? Let's put it back to test. Where was my other one? Test 2. What did I make that page? Test 1. Let's link it to a funky page. Okay, so let's just say I want to link it to that page, right? So now that I have it linked, if I go to save it, and I got to publish it too, and I go to the student view, it took my link out, right? It took my button out. So for me to go back and do that, if I go back to my HTML, right? Oops. See, I linked it to the page. That's okay. What's linking? It's linking correctly, but it's not giving me what I wanted, right? So, oh my goodness, back to my pages. Jump around in this thing all day long, and it makes you dizzy. Test 2. It's where I saved it, right? So I need to go to edit. And now I need to go back and I need to change that HTML. So you see where it took out my HTML, it just gave me my link, but it took out my button. So I don't want them to do, I want it to be linked, but I also want to add my button, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just save this because I'm going to go back to that shell that I created to make. So give me a second here. Go back to modules. Let's just do it the easy way. I'm going to go back and grab it. And grab the canvas enhancer, go back and grab that button, that information that I wanted. And basically what I'm going to grab is I'm only going to grab now is just the class part of it, right? Because it literally took out the A, the class, the button, and the primary. It left the link, but it took out the button part, and that's the part in which I need. So I'm going to put the class, the button, and right up until the title, and I'm going to go ahead and copy that. That's all I need because the title part of it is part of the link that goes into your particular link, but the button is what I want, right? The button, so make sure I copy that and then go back to my page and find that particular page. It's a little bit of a workaround, but it's kind of cool when you get it in there. I don't know why Canvas takes my button out, but it did. So I figured out how to work around it. Again, so here's my button, here's my HTML part of it, right? It took out my button, but it left it as the A type. So I'm going to go ahead and just put in that, what I did, make sure you take out the extra bracket. Okay, so now it put my test 1, which is the name of my title, right? It left my HTML part on here, and it left my link. And now if I go to save it, it saves it as the button itself, back to the button. And then if I click on the button, it'll take me to wherever I linked it to, right? So if you can put the button in there, but you're gonna need to put the link in there first. So we maybe add the link or the button or something like that, or you can just write home and you can link it, and then you can go back and add that particular button to it and link that in there. That way it can go back. And let me just show you an example of how I've used this in my own personal shell. So if I have it here in my own shell and they go to like help and support, and they've read this particular page, but now if they want to go back to the home page, they can click here and it'll take them back to the home page. And if I was using it as a student, it will look like that. So again, you can link it however you like, but this is just, again, so they click here, it'll go to the home page, and then you can link it back. You can link it to anywhere, but I use that button like that so that they can click here and go back. So are there any questions on using that particular toolkit? Like a sandbox course to play around with these tools, please shoot me a message and I will Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Little sandbox tool. Or you could just put them in your own courses. It doesn't matter. So if I don't publish that page, it's just a page in there. So either Justin said he can make you a sandbox, a little something to play if you want to do that, or you can just create pages in your own master shells or your own stuff, and you can make a module and you can say play module and just don't publish it. As long as you don't publish it, the students won't see it. But if you want to publish it, then you go back to the student view of it. You can publish it and unpublish it to see what the student sees. There you go. Any questions? Anybody need to be up on a breakout room to be able to go in and do a little bit of that stuff by themselves? That again, I have Allison as well as Andy on board. I think Allison is still on board. Is she still on here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Allison and Andy are on board. So does anybody want to go into a little room, breakout room, and say if I need one-on-one support? If not, then and I'll take any questions that you guys have. If you want me to go back over something, I can do that too. Just tell me guys, just give us a hands up what you need. Everybody's good and nobody needs extra support?
Hey, Anna, Dr. Greathouse just said if needed one-on-one support after this, when ready to start, how can I get help? So would you suggest making appointments, or what would you suggest between you and Dr. Greathouse?
Justin. So if you do need oh, I forgot to tell you this part up here. So yes, so if you need to get in touch with me, it's linked to here. You can email me directly through the shell itself. There's also this little form here. So this form goes back to me. So even the librarians have been using it as well because they're making content, but they're not publishing the content because they didn't add the little, take away part of the workaround at the beginning of it. And they're not linking it to the table of contents. So if you want to create something you've already created something and you want to have that uploaded into the course, then you can fill out this particular form and upload your information here. If you've created something and you want me to add it to the, you can just let me know where you want me to add it. Just like I've given you the HTML code, you need to give me the HTML code. And if there's any images, you need to make sure I have all of that too. So if you did create something in your own courses, but you think that it might be beneficial for everybody to be able to take that information out and link it to their own courses, you can just send me this information. And then if there's any questions, I can just do so. Make sure you put your email and your name in there so I can find you if I have questions. But again, if you've created something, a document or whatever that might be, you need to make sure you link it in here so that I have all the information like I've given you. I need all of that information so that I can put it into the course itself so everybody has accessibility to it or access to it. Justin for adding that. Are there any other questions? Anybody want to have a one-on-one or anything that, a little confused, don't exactly know what I'm doing? Yes, Cynthia.
I know it's probably a silly question, but is there anything special we need to do when we copy our Canvas courses over? So say I did this in my master shell and I wanted to put it in my shell for the spring. Same thing. There's nothing extra I have to do that.
Correct. If you have taken my stuff out of my master shell and you've put it into your master shell and you've already uploaded the images and you've done everything, right? You've changed it from student view and you can see that it looks like, everything is in there. Then once you take it from your master shell, you can use those 3 little buttons. Well, when you take it from your master shell, you're going to upload it pretty much from your master. Everything goes into the other course, right? Is that what you're talking about? You're just going to go in and say, I want to
copy a Canvas course. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're just importing existing content from one course to another. Is that what you're talking? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so then anything in there would be uploaded, correct? Everything. So if I want to copy the entire course, then yes, it would go in there. You wouldn't have to do anything special once you get it in your own master shell.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's when you get into this commons that it gets a little on the iffy end of it. People taking things out of the commons, we're having a little bit issue with the commons part of it. And your people are taking things out of the commons, but they're not linking it correctly, and that's where you're seeing like people are like the buttons are not showing, or content or images are not showing. It doesn't mean that they're not in the file somewhere, they just haven't linked them. Any other questions? Temporary share lets me play with my dashboard and just go and play. Oh, okay, Nancy. Well, have at it. You can go and play. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me.
Anna, thank you for putting this together and for being so willing to share the tools. I know I will certainly have questions for follow-up as I start tinkering myself. So definitely appreciate all of your hard work behind the scenes to get this ready for us.
You're welcome. I hope everybody that takes advantage of it. And if you find things in there that you want us to add, you can definitely use that form, and you can, you fill out stuff and just let us know. The librarians, we're always creating things, and most of the stuff 99.9% stuff in here that I created was for being an embedded librarian. So yeah, other than the Canvas enhancer parts, but most of the content, yeah, it was either for my own course or people have asked me to create things, and I just, over the years, like I just had my own little, shell that I kind of just shove things into. So, all right, well, that's it. Then I guess you guys don't want breakout rooms. So hopefully you guys got some information out of it, and you'll be able to use the toolkit.